my right arm is like, I do pretty good with like everything else, but I'm at the gym every single day. And my one thing, I started working out with an occupational therapist and doing the ball thing on the wall. My arm is really bad, and like, it is what it is, you know, but it's not going to get any better by me not trying,
Right.
you know? And it's just, I hate when people say that. They're like, 6 years, she was better than that yet? I'm like, sweetheart, probably not going to be better for this the rest of my life,
Yeah.
you know? But
Yeah.
it's just it's the way you think about it, you know?
Yeah, and there's something about people, you know, the way they react to a crisis. Because people are really, really good at a crisis. And you know what? I don't know anybody really who doesn't have support usually right away. Because people love to visit people in a hospital. You know, and the truth is that's probably the time when you're most supported, because you've got, you know, nurses by your side, you've got doctors, you've got everybody there. And then you go home. All right, maybe a fruit basket will come or a card or two, and then obviously you must be better because, you know, that you don't have that need anymore. And you know, it's just, it's fascinating how that happens.
That's when you find out who your friends are.
No, absolutely, and it's also, it is, you know, we don't have a ton of time left, but I guess I just want to really stress that I think it's important, you know, you hear when we talk about healthcare, like how it's important to be, you know, your own advocate, and I'm sure all of you, because even just the conversations you're having, you're reaching out to Florence, you're reaching out to the doctor. When there's questions, you're making sure that they're addressed, and that's important. But what's also important is advocating for yourself, for your own needs, for your emotional well-being, for your social well-being. And so that's where it says, you know, hey, we may not be in the hospital, but we still got a lot going on. And you know what? Our crisis may not be life and death right now, but our crisis is that, you know, we're struggling with something else. And, you know, every day is a crisis. You know, every day there's a need. And I think it's important for each of us to sort of stand up and say, thank you for being in my life, and please continue to be there. And you know, the holidays coming upon us are a really nice time to sometimes reconnect with people too. And let people know, if you're sending out your Christmas card or your Christmas email or whatever, just maybe put in a message, you know, thank you for supporting us through this long journey, through this difficult journey. And please continue to be there, because your support means more to me than you realize. And just letting people know that. And the other thing I'll tell you from the other side, because I want to genuinely believe that people are good. Not all of them, but I want to believe most of them are. And I hear people say, and I hear it from well-meaning friends that will say, oh, well, I don't want to ask about that, or I don't want to bother them, I keep calling them, or, you know what, I don't want to ask you about your husband or how you're doing, because that was going to upset you. And I hear that, and sometimes I'm just taken aback by the people that are telling me this, and I was like, you know, like, how could you say that? Like, of course they want to talk about it. And, you know, my favorite is, well, I don't want them to think about it. And it's like, you know what, if you've had a brain tumor, I don't think you're thinking about much else at any given time. And so, but this is what people think. And they say it genuinely. And so I think it's really up to each of us to reach out and advocate for that support we needed. Because, you know, if you had a question about, you know, medicine, or you needed, you know, something that you thought was important, you'd reach out for it. But the socialization can sometimes be equal to the medical importance, right? It's important to treat somebody medically, but we have to treat, you know, our society is going towards more holistic approaches. You know, we're not just treating a brain tumor, we're treating a person who happens to have a brain tumor. And for somebody to be overall happy, there has to be that social component to their life. You know, and you know, whether you have somebody that you live with or whether you live on your own, you know, you have to develop that own circle that when you need somebody, that they're there. And it's important to perhaps reach back out to people and learn to ask for help and learn to have, you know, some of your needs met by people who really want to help for the most part. You know, I'm sure each of you has at least one or two people who maybe want to do something. And for those of you who think it's, oh, this is going on too long, you know what, I supported her for the first year or two, but now 6 years, I'm done. Say, hey, you know what, let them know that, you know, this is what's going to be, and you know, you try as hard as you can, and you know, are doing all that you can to get better, but sometimes, unfortunately, this is going to be the best it's going to be. And your friendship, your love, your support, your assistance really means a lot to me. And like I said, this is a perfect time to reach back out and reconnect with people that may have been uncomfortable, because you know, you don't know what they're thinking. They may think, oh, you know, she's upset with me, or he's upset. And I just think that, you know what, I think all the support that you can get is really helpful, going through the ups and the downs. And it's not just the downs, because you know, if there's a crisis, somebody will be there. But let's enjoy them when it's a happy time. Let's enjoy them when we can, and not when we're, you know, not feeling well. Let's enjoy them to, you know, have a meal together, have a drink together, just come and visit, have a phone conversation. Because that is so much a part of what really we were here to talk about, our psychosocial issues, our psychosocial needs. So I hope that I left you with some things to think about. And you know, just how important it is to connect with people, and to, you know, nurture your own emotional needs, and not just the health needs.